Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Exam 360. We are going to continue with the session of answer writing for tspsc Group 1 Mains Geography. So let us start today's questions. So first question is, explain how soil erosion is further exacerbated by changing climate and weather patterns. Okay, question is, explain how soil erosion is further exacerbated by, that means further eroded or further degraded. Soil erosion is more intensified by changing climate and weather patterns. How this is going to happen? So, see here, first how to write the answer. First you have to write that, or simply, definition of the soil erosion. Okay. So, first I will write about the definition of soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Soil erosion is nothing but removal of the top soil. Removal of top layer of the soil. By different agents, like your water, like your wind, or by any other agents. So what they do, generally they remove the top layer. Okay, if the floods come, it has been removed. So how this changes is taking place, that we are going to see. So you see, the first introduction part. Soil erosion is a natural process of wearing away the top layer of soil by the physical agents such as wind, water, others. Generally, it is balanced by the soil forming process, but sometimes disturbed by the human factors, anthropogenic factors. So, soil removal and soil formation is a general phenomena. Soil formation is a general phenomena, and soil removal or erosion is also a general phenomena. But what is happening here? In this case, when the soil formation, this is getting disturbed by human activities, or by the anthropogenic activities, mainly by the this is nothing but anthropogenic activities. So what will happen? It is leading to greater level of removal of the soil. So soil erosion will be intensified. Okay, they are further intensified here. So when they are intensified, what will happen? When they are intensified, what will happen? It will create further, soil erosion will be affected by your human activities. So any changes, and also if this will be further intensified if climate and weather patterns are changing. So how what kind of weather patterns? Global warming. Generally, you see, what are the factors? Frequent and intense precipitation. Okay, why this frequent and intense precipitation occur? Due to global warming phenomena. I told you that the aerosols changes the pressure and temperature conditions, because of which, the precipitation also changes. There is a variability of the precipitation takes place. So any area, like I told you that there are regions which are receiving high rainfall, they are receiving the less amount of rainfall. The areas which are receiving less amount of rainfall are receiving high amount of rainfall. Vice versa, it is happening. So frequent and intense precipitation events. The regions with heavy rainfall and steep slopes, where the soil erosion is more significant. Frequent and intense precipitation where the soil erosion is highly frequent. Okay, this region, high rainfall and steep slopes, soil erosion is frequent. Changing, see how this temperature changes, how this rainfall, why there heavy rainfall occurs. Heavy rainfall occurs because any changes in temperature takes place. Any changes in the temperature, if it takes place, then what will happen? It will lead to change in the hydrological cycle. Hydrological cycle. Water cycle here, simple. That means, can I say that water evaporation increases? Simply, evaporation increases. And if the water increase in the water evaporation takes place, it results in frequent, and intense precipitation takes place. So, what will happen here? The regions with high rainfall and steep slopes, more erosion takes place. Now, why the high rainfall? It is, and also the steep slopes can be created. Changes in the, because of exogenetic forces. Exogenetic forces. The slopes can be changed over a period of time, not very in a short period. But the rainfall, you can see this rainfall changes in the weather conditions. Right? Number 1. Second, loss of vegetation cover. Whenever there is a loss of vegetation cover, like deforestation, okay, deforestation has taken place, and that time your vegetation, soil, whenever in some areas intense vegetation, heat results, intense vegetation, intense or less vegetation, right, intense vegetation results in reduce in the rainfall, that is, or decrease in the, simply I can say that there is a decrease. So you see that loss of vegetation cover. In some areas, intense heat reduces the rainfall. Intense heat reduces the rainfall and increase the soil moisture evaporation, contributing to drying and loss of vegetation. So simply you see that if this is an area, and there are more number of trees like this. Now what you have done, you have deforested it, removed the vegetation cover. Now what will happen? If you remove this vegetation cover, can I say that the rainfall variability also occurs? Rainfall will decrease. In some areas, intense heat reduces the rainfall of, what will happen? If the rainfall is reducing, whatever the soil moisture, if the soil is holding the moisture, soil moisture will be, because of the intense heat, what will happen? Because of the soil moisture will be evaporated. Okay, will be evaporated like this. So what happens? Absence of plants increases the susceptibility of soil to rainwater and wind erosion, and thus rate of erosion will be high. In this case. So loss of vegetation, that is. Then severe sandstorms. What will happen? With sudden rise in temperature, the soil is going to become more drier. This is your temperature and this is your soil. This is soil. Soil. Moisture, there is no clouds, no precipitation. No precipitation to exist. So soil generally becomes drier in nature. Okay, they have become drier in nature. So the amount of soil the wind can carry. Now, if there is a wind blowing across this soil, wind blowing across ఈ సాయిల్ చుట్టూ ఈ ఏరియాలో ఒకవేళ విండ్ వచ్చిందనుకో, the wind can carry more amount of its capacity, so that soil erosion will be further intensified in these particular areas. So severe sandstorms can lead to increase the intensity of your soil erosion. So what we have seen is simply first one, frequency and intensity of the precipitation, then the loss of vegetation cover, severe sandstorms, then the glacial melt, you see, and increasing glacial melt due to the global warming. What will happen if the glacier, suppose this is a mountain and there are trees which are there and there is a soil like this. This is a soil. So what will happen if this is a glacier? Melting of glaciers will start eroding this soil. Erosion of soil takes place. So nothing but underlying rock will be plucked off. That is your glacial melting. Because of the changes in the climate and weather, this phenomena takes place. Okay, changes in the climate and weather, this phenomena takes place. So soil erosion, now conclusion you see. Soil erosion continues to be a major environmental problem with regard to the land use changes. In India, furthermore, with changing climate and weather, problems are expected to increase. Hence, there is a need to adopt, mitigate or mitigate the adverse impact of climate change in order to balance the soil formation. So, this is your first answer. Right, clear? So, this is the first answer. Now, we'll move to the second one. Examine the causes of soil degradation in India and potential solutions for it. What is, first of all, what is soil degradation? Decreasing in the fertility. Decreasing in fertility of soil. Decreasing the fertility of soil. Now, this can also be called as land degradation. Land degradation. Now, what will happen if the fertility decreases? Can I say it leads to desertification? Desertification. Okay, it leads to the desertification. So, question has come. The questions can be asked from the desertification perspective also. I will take in the next upcoming days regarding the desertification. What are the causes? What are the potential solutions? What are the impacts of the desertification, etc., etc. Okay. So, but today we will see about the land degradation techniques. Okay. What is land soil degradation? Soil degradation is one of the major concerns for today's policymakers, as it directly linked to the food security in particular and sustainable development in general. Ante enti chudandi, if the soil fertility is lost, fertility is decreased, can I say agriculture production also decreases? Agriculture production also decreases. Can I say it leads to food security crisis? Food security related, and because of this also sustainable development target will be missed. So soil degradation is the result of both natural as well as anthropogenic factors. So question ఏంటి, examine the causes. So causes చూడండి, ఇప్పుడు examine చేద్దాం. Floods, natural factors such as floods. What will happen? Water logging. Okay, if this is an area, right, and these are the soils. This is a soil which has been formed. This is a soil. So can I say if the water logging takes place in this particular area, water logging takes place, can I say that runoff remove the, because of the water logging, water is leaching, okay, leaching into the soil, and this decreases availability of oxygen, and due to scarcity or lack, it will lead to decrease in fertility of the soil. This is one thing. Okay, this is nothing but your flood related. Drought, you see, runoff removes the top layers of the soil, which leads to decrease in the fertility of the topsoil. Amount of nutrients present on will also decrease. This is the case is decrease. Now drought, the regions which is receiving less amount of rainfall, the soil will gradually become salty or alkaline. That means decrease in soil fertility. Okay, this is another thing. That is a natural factors. Then anthropogenic factors, you see, mainly shifting cultivation or zoom cultivation, which is mostly practiced in the northeastern region. Okay, where the soil conditions can be degraded at very fast rate. Like erosion of the soil, generally decline the soil quality, are both caused when the forests are burned. Right? Shifting cultivation. Then suppose you see there is an area and you are using HYV seeds, yield variety seeds. For this, what you required? Huge amount of water is required, plus chemical fertilizers and pesticides. And this is one of the major reason why in Punjab Green Revolution, one of the drawback of the Green Revolution is degradation of the soil. Thick layer, there will be a thick layer of fertilizers will be accumulated, which does not allow the soil to gain its fertility. Fertility will decrease. Clear? So, most of the chemical fertilizers used in modern agriculture contain, one more thing is that whenever you are using, we are using NPK, macro fertilizers, but they lack in micro fertilizers, zinc, copper, iron, etc., and which decreases the soil fertility. So, excess use of chemical fertilizers will also reduce water table there, because excess your fertilizers, your pesticides you are using, so you need to use excess amount of water, groundwater depletion, percolation, inability to percolate because of the excess use, double structure, double layered will be formed. Okay, that is one thing. Then excessive use of irrigation facilities. That means excess may lead to water logging, accumulation of salt in the soil. Both these degrade the soil. Then brick making. For a brick making industries, we remove the top layer of the soil, which we are removing it. Then wasteland, unutilized land lead to the degradation. Urban disposal, lack of disposal, urban in towns and cities, that is also one thing. What are the solutions you see? Go for afforestation, like social forestry, flood control measures, like construction of dams, checking of dams, proper disposal of waste, like domestic waste, cities, towns, etc. Use of green manure and green biofertilizers. Then using of organic farming, conservation of agricultural lands to activities like growing shrimps, okay, conservation of agricultural lands, and using or going for these kind of activities can reduce the land availability. Right? Land must be maintained for easy regeneration and should be in the harmony with the nature, otherwise the effects of the human beings are irreversible. This is a conclusion point of view. Okay, so these are the things for today. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.